Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 30th. So I'm going to try to get in a new routine in the morning because I like doing these videos first thing in the morning and then being done and not having to think about it. So a lot of times these videos are like mind dumps, and a lot of information comes in while I'm getting ready for work in the morning. So anyway, one of the things that happened in the last 9 months, because I looked yesterday or last night, and December 28th was the last video I did, and I did not realize it had been that long. So anyway, I'm going to say a couple of months ago, Erica Elmitz is someone I have followed on YouTube for a long time. She does readings and quantum healing sessions and a little astrology and a little twin flame stuff and a little of this and a little of that and just stuff that I'm interested in. She is also very awake because she follows some of the people that I follow on Twitter. And she was doing a special, like $50 off of a reading or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to hear what she has to say. Because what I have found, and this happened when it came with the car, a friend of mine had made a comment that she saw me getting a car in October, and I was like, oh hell no, I cannot wait till October. And so that was something that I heard, it did not resonate, and it put me into action. So sometimes when somebody says something that is so not resonant with me, it'll move me into action. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to see what she has to say. This Erica Elmitz. So we had 3 questions that we could ask, and I asked her 3 questions. And the first one was, is working at the receptionist job at the title company, am I serving my purpose right at the moment? The other one was, why have I had such a hard time meeting a soulmate or a life partner? And the last one was, what will I be doing after the RV? Because I knew she would understand about the RV because of who she follows. So basically, the first thing she said was, I was not really serving my purpose at the title company because I should be traveling around the world and doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, I can't really do that right now because I have a job and I need that job to pay for stuff. So if me getting around the world and doing my thing is my purpose, then I suppose these videos are the closest thing to my purpose right now, because these do get all over the world. I have people all over the world that watch these. Most of them are in the United States, but I know some of them are in Europe. When I was doing readings, my first one was for somebody in Australia. So I guess this is my purpose at the moment. And then when I asked her, like, her thing about why I was having such a hard time meeting somebody, 2 cards came up, and boy, did that ever nail me. She said it was like the loner card and not for me. And I laughed because I definitely feel like I am a loner. I prefer being alone. I do not like living with people. I would rather live by myself so I can run the thermometer or the thermostat where I want, the TV. I've just gotten used to being by myself. I don't need to have somebody around to entertain me. In fact, I really don't want someone around to entertain me. I am perfectly fine doing that myself. So I don't know if I believe what she said about everything, but that was that. And then the third question was, what will I be doing after the RV? So she pulled 4 cards. And a lot of you people will be interested in this because you're probably waiting for the RV as well. So the first 2 cards were something like anticipation and expectations, or something kind of like where we're all at right now. The waiting and what we think's going to happen, what we hope's going to happen, the blah, 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 all that stuff that goes through our heads, and the reasons why we watch the people that think they know something about the RV. Well, the second 2 cards that she pulled, I remember one of them was the cornucopia, and I don't remember what the second card was, but she like squealed when she saw those. She was like, oh my God. She was like, well, I don't think you're going to be working after the RV. And I kind of laughed because she goes, I think we're all in the same boat. She's like, it's been very difficult for me, you know, kind of being shut down on YouTube and not being able to get her work out because there's forces out there that do not want the light out, and they don't want the truth out. You know, that's one of the reasons my channel probably never did all that good, is because I talked about stuff that the deep state didn't want me to talk about. Although, I will say, I feel like maybe that has lifted, because if you watched yesterday's video, the Sky Prince and the Big Daddy, they're talking about stuff that the deep state would shut down if they were still in charge of YouTube. So I kind of think that maybe that's lifting. We're going to be able to get the truth out. And honestly, we have to now, because we are so close to everything happening that there's going to be a lot of people asking questions. So anyway, I wanted to discuss that little reading. This is a question for Myra. I just remembered this morning when I was getting ready. I think you told me when we met in North Carolina that you liked when I pulled like the medical cards, like of what's going on with people and maybe ascension symptoms. If that is correct, let me know. Or did I make that up in my head? Honestly, I think I was so stunned that you recognized me. I was shocked and probably blacked out for just a minute. Just kidding. Anyway, one other thing that happened that was kind of funny was I got new neighbors about a month ago. I thought I had a guy living across the hall, but I met his wife, girlfriend, the female of the household one day after work. I guess it was like 3 weeks ago. They'd only been there for like a week, and I was home after work, and I started hearing this beeping noise. And at first I thought it was the TV, and the beeping noise continued after I put the TV on pause, and I was like, oh crap, somebody's smoke detector is going off. Do I need to be concerned? Do I need to run? Do I need to call 911? And I opened my front door to my apartment, which is like right here, and across the hall, that door was open, and there was a lot of smoke in there, and the female of the household was standing on like a little metal chair, and she had a towel, and she was like waving up at the smoke detector. If you watched the video I had last year talking about coming home after they changed the batteries and having to pull it off of the ceiling and still couldn't get the battery out, those things will like bring you to your knees because they're so loud. Well, she was trying to get that off. Apparently she had incense that got a little crazy in there, and they'd only been in there for a week. So my gut tells me that she might have been in the shower. She was dressed when I got there, but her hair was damp because I gave her a hug. But anyway, so she's up on this chair, and we're trying to shut the smoke detector off, and I'm kind of like, shit, man, do we need to call maintenance or what? Because I've already had problems with the smoke detector. And so because she was shorter than me, I got up on this metal, like a funeral chair, the things they have at funerals and reunions, the metal table chairs that are everywhere, fold-up chairs, that's the word I'm looking for. And so I'm like trying to get up on this thing and not use her shoulder to push me up, because literally I'm bigger and heavier. I would have shoved her down to the ground. So not very gracefully, I ended up getting up on the chair and managed to get my finger up there and shut the smoke detector off. And we both started clapping. It was like, yay, yay, because nobody wants to hear a smoke detector, and I'm sure she was about to lose her mind from it. So anyway, we got that off, and she goes, we make a good team. And I gave her a hug, and of course I was like trying to like take that fan and blow it out, and she had everything opened, and she just, like I said, those things will like make you not be able to think straight. So I exchanged phone numbers with her real quick, and said, if you ever need anything, let me know. I don't know if she works, because as far as I can tell, they only have one car. And I think I have only seen him in the back here before until that whole thing happened. So whatever, I don't know what all's going on, but none of my business. So here I am, me and Dawn, my friend Dawn, you've heard me talk about her before. We're on our way to North Carolina to this meeting. And Subia, that's my neighbor across the hall, calls me. And I'm like, shit. I wasn't planning on telling anybody that I was going out of town until after. And I was like, I sent her a text. I was like, is everything okay? I'm not home at the moment. Oh, I forgot one thing. Back up to the day that she had the smoke thing off. After I gave her the hug, she goes, I feel like I should give you something. And she goes to the refrigerator and she gives me a bar of Cadbury, big old bar of chocolate. And I was like, oh, I love chocolate. Thank you. So that was funny because that was her gift to me for helping her out in a jam, because she didn't know anybody in there and didn't have the number for maintenance. Okay, so fast forward to North Carolina trip. So she calls, I send her a text back and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not home right now. Is everything okay? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I fixed you lunch. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon and I was like, oh my God, that is so sweet. I am halfway to North Carolina though. Not much I can do about it. And I need to tell her that I am out of town for a couple of days. That was not really what I wanted to have happen. But I told her, I said, well, I'm not at home. I'm out of town for a couple of days. I should be back on Tuesday. And, I just had to leave it to the universe that my neighbors were going to not bust into my apartment and rifle through my stuff. And they didn't. Everything was fine when I got here. And so anyway, that was just kind of funny. So that's how I met my new neighbor across the hall. I haven't seen her since. I haven't reached out to her since I got back, partly because I have to be really careful about who I let into my life. And I've noticed this over my whole life. Sometimes I will open up, I will let somebody in, and then I cannot get rid of them. Or it's like they're maybe not in a good place and they see me as a light source and they hang on for dear life. So I have gotten a lot more cautious about who I let in, how quickly I let people in, what I share with them in the beginning. Because I've just had some bad experiences with people that are clingy and just want access to me more than I am willing to give. Again, I am a loner and I like my free time. And so anyway, okay. I have been on here 13 minutes and I probably need to get off of here and get to work. But anyway, like I said, I am trying to get in a routine, figure out what time I need to get in the shower to have time to do these videos more frequently than I have been, and catch you guys up with what's been going on in the last 9 months. And again, because I think something is about ready to happen. And so I want to kind of get back in a roll here, so I will have some stuff to report when it does happen. Anyway, have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.